let us see how you can create WhatsApp mini apps or WhatsApp native flows. Now this is the very first version wherein you'll be able to create basic data collection, feedback, survey, all these type of native flows or mini apps. We have added a new section known as WhatsApp mini apps. Click on the view icon here. Now click on create a new flow. Enter a flow name. Select any category and select your WhatsApp channel. If you have more than one channel, you can rename the channel from CRM channels page. Click on create flow. Now let us understand each and every small aspect or option available here. The very first thing is you can have multiple screens in your WhatsApp native flow. With this, you can have a unique screen title for each screen. Now in the very first icon, icon here is basically the preview of the flow. Right now you do not have anything in the particular screen, so you can also zoom in or zoom out from the preview area. Now if you click on the third icon, that is the components icon, you'll get the option wherein all of the components or elements available to design your screen would be visible. You can select few components and as soon as you click on them, they'll automatically get added. With this, you have option to see this particular icon here. You can rearrange the components from here, you can delete anyone, or you can also click on the settings icon and then define the labels and the various other options available here. For example, in this heading, you can also click on this settings icon here and define the text. Now to go from one screen to another, Meta has given two options. One is routing option and second is footer option. So in case of routing, a link like this is added. You can define the go to action to any other screen. And second is the footer option, wherein you get a button in the bottom area. If you click on the settings icon, you'll have the option, if someone is clicking on this button, either it is submitting the flow or it is taking you to any other screen. Now let us go to the second screen. Now here if you see the preview, it is again empty. We'll click on the components and we'll add some components. So let us have a drop down and a date option and again a footer. Here we can define the footer as submit. And here the footer is basically going to submit the flow. Now Meta has various conditions on a lot of blocks out here. So when you're basically building the flow, you might see some errors, and after checking the errors, so these errors are not from us, these are basically the ifs and buts conditions from Meta for the native flows. So if you find any kind of errors, you can contact the support team which are unable to figure out, and after this you can click on save. Now there are three stages of flow. First is save. In the save stage, you cannot test the flow. This flow is presently is in our system only. It has not been sent to Meta. Secondly, we have another option which is basically save and apply. In this case, the flow code is sent to Meta and the flow is right now in draft stage. It is not published, it is in draft stage. So you can also test the draft flows right now using the bot builder, and you can also click on this preview icon and you can also preview your flow from here. So if you click on preview, you'll get the option to choose your screen and you can see how the flow is going to look. And let me take you to the bot builder. So here we have added a new question block which is WhatsApp mini apps And from here you can select your draft flow as well, and then you need to select your starter screen, and then you can have a test message here and the button label, maybe start quiz or give feedback or something of this sort, and then save. So it is always suggested to test the flow in the draft mode. The reason for it is, once you publish a flow to Meta, it cannot be edited. Meta doesn't allow editing any published flow. So once you're sure that you want to publish this particular flow, click on this publish icon here. Now after this, you cannot make any edits to the particular flow. If you want to edit even any minor thing, you still have to copy it and then republish the flow and also update it in your bot builder. Now let us see how you can send a WhatsApp flow using the bot builder and how you can store the data to the CRM. So flow is by flow you're actually asking questions or collecting some data from the user, so that's why it is added in ask a question block in the bot builder. So the very first thing that I'm doing is creating a custom field in the CRM in the name of flow response. You can obviously have it any kind of name, you can keep any kind of name, and the field type will be string. Now after this you need to go to the bot builder. Then you need to simply, in between your bot anywhere as an action, you need to select ask a question block, and here you need to select WhatsApp mini apps. You can have a text header for the flow, which is basically a bold text. You can have a body and a footer light gray color text. Obviously footer and header is optional, and the button label is the button on which, the button which will be visible to the user, and on clicking on this the flow will start. You can select your flow either draft or published. You can select the welcome screen and you need to select the option of save response to flow response or your custom field that you have created. Now whenever the flow is triggered and when the user replies to the flow, the data comes as a string format and it is automatically saved in the flow response custom field. Now I'll have a separate video on how to use this data or how to segregate this data using few automation apps, but this is how you can send the flow and the data is getting saved in the custom field. Thank you.